A headache is what I had for the last few days. And that's because of gems. I just can't escape from them. I've been spending so much time trying to understand these stupid little stones and what they provide to the player and how they function exactly. I had access to a ton of data thanks to some people who have been collecting that during the last beta. So there was plenty to go through and plenty to work with. But there were so many things that just didn't add up. And that is because at the moment gems are just utterly bugged and broken. Now at first I was thinking to just not make any video about gems at all until the beta, but then I realized that yeah, sure, the people that are on the Theory Crafting Discord and have looked deeply into this or have played the game since very early alphas will understand why I would want to delay that video. But a lot of people, especially newer players like me who learned about this very recently, probably didn't even know what was wrong with gems in the first place and where this entire issue comes from. So that's what we're going to talk about today without going into the numbers yet. And in the future, once we hopefully see fixes to this, we'll talk about the actual gem scaling and how it will work. Because I really can't imagine this broken state staying in the game, as it actually gives advantages to some lower tier gems. Now there are quite a few things that we were able to figure out over time, inconsistencies that were initially weird, but that started to make sense. There are a bunch of different attributes in different perks, dexterity, strength, intelligence, that can all affect either both parts of the damage or the damage of the gem. And those eventually became clear to us. But what remained entirely confusing was when the gems started scaling. And this is where the info from nwdb.info came in super clutch, and thanks to the random person from nwdb that helped me with this as well. They're a super useful resource for the informative side of New World, and if you want to check them out, I'll leave the link down in the description as well. If you, for example, read the effect of Empowered 1 here, it says 20% of the damage is converted to Arcane. So far so good. But then, damage scales of base, weapon, stat or intelligence, whichever is higher. What I assumed that meant was, okay, if I put 50 points in strength and 40 points in intelligence, then my weapon will scale with strength, and if I put 50 points in strength but 80 points in intelligence, then my weapon will scale with intelligence. That is not the case, and that's where we need to go into the fine print. If we look at the bottom here, the Empowered 1 gem scales with intelligence 200%. What does that mean? If you had 100 strength and 45 intelligence, then your damage would just scale with strength, because it is more than double the intelligence. But if you had 100 strength and 65 intelligence, for example, the weapon would actually scale with intelligence because of this double scaling. On the other hand, if you had the tier 4 effect of this, where 50% of your damage is converted, then the scaling is suddenly just 80%. So you actually would need more intelligence than strength for it to scale. What this effectively means is that lower tier gems in certain scenarios can be better than higher tier gems, which really shouldn't be the case. One of the nwdb.info guys even pointed out to me that there are scenarios where you could get more damage on an int scaling weapon by using an int gem on it. You can probably see why that shouldn't be the case. As such, this is a bit more of a public service announcement that currently gems are just really frustratingly broken, and the data that we're using is probably not something we will see on release. I'm very much hoping that they fix that before then. My big hope would be that they fix it before the open beta, because we will definitely try and get as much data as possible to see if it's fixed by then, and if we can actually do normal calculations, which should be a lot simpler then as well, which would be great. I can't even give you advice for the beta because I can't tell you if the gems will still be broken or not, so yeah, they might be good, they will probably be decent on most weapons where you use a mixed stat anyways, but how good exactly I cannot tell you. Of course, I will tell you more about it after the beta, so if you want to learn more about them, feel free to click the sub button and the bell if you haven't yet, so you get notified when that video comes out. Tomorrow we can also finally do the in-depth video about blocking, because I don't have this int gem thing in the back of my mind constantly anymore. I'm also still planning to do the live stream, but it won't be today because once again it's super late here. Also, I will be streaming the open beta on Twitch TV/DukeSloth, so if you want to see that, feel free to drop me a follow over there. And with that, I will bury all thoughts about stones and gems until open beta. Thank you very much for watching, and I hope to see you for the next one soon. DukeSloth, out.